Okay, my name is Sebastián Salgado. I'm a journalist from Argentina. I just arrived here in Lugansk a week ago, trying to understand what has been happening in this part of the world since 2014, actually. Most of the corporate media in my country, they have this opinion related, um, let's say, near of what the European media says about. So they talk about Putin's war, they talk about the aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukrainian people, and a lot of journalists from my country understand that is not true. So I decided to calm myself and share all the information that I'm having with a lot of journalists in Argentina and in Latin America. We speak Spanish, that's our language, and there's a lot of people interested and really know what's is going on here. So we're trying to help in that. We know there's a lot of censorship and blockade for the Russian media. In Argentina, we cannot see RT or Sputnik anymore because it's blockade from the web, from YouTube. So we're trying to break that, to break that blockade, because we understand that the access of people to information, it's a human right. I'm the first Argentinian journalist that decided to come to Lugansk and Donetsk and not to Kiev. It's like thousands, or not thousands, but hundreds of Argentinian journalists that went to Kiev and tell that part of the story, trying to show that the aggressions only start in 2022. We know that that is not true. We know that in Dombas, 15,000 people have been killed. I've been into the cemeteries, I've seen the graves, I've seen the aggression of Ukraine against the people of Donbas. I see the fascist government that Zelensky is ruling that doesn't care about human life. You can see it's the Ukrainian government showing rockets and missiles through a nuclear installations in the last few days, shooting against their own prisoners of war. So they don't even have the cause of a real war. What we are here, it's maybe can be the start of something even bigger. Which it's incredible. We've seen the rockets, the HIMARS made in the USA that they thrown to Al-Sheikhs. There's no military points or objectives over there, and they just trying to terrorize people to make them scared. But Bosnia, there's no more city. There's nothing left. It's only 200 people, old people that they holding to their lives somehow. They don't really want to leave the place because the only life that they had is related to that area. So I think even Bosnia, it will be really hard to rebuild because there's no people and there's nothing left. There's no one stone, in the top of the other. In here, we are very impressed because for me, the most important thing that I've seen here, it's that I could tape with my equipment the Ukrainian tanks hiding between the buildings of civilian populations. When we used to say that in Argentina, most of the journalists that belong to the corporate media say, no, that's allowed. How can a Ukrainian tank can hide between civilian people? Now we've seen it. Now we tape it. Now we show it to the people. So that's a really good experience for us. And we also find like the shells of a Javelin missile that didn't explode, showing that it's made in the USA. So for Ukraine, it's obvious that it was no need to be part of the NATO to use US weapons. They are using it since long ago. And as an Argentinian citizen, from South America, we know a lot about that because we have a couple of big islands that are occupied for the British Empire, and there's a NATO base over there. So part of my country, it's already occupied by a NATO base. They have nuclear submarines over there. So we know what this is like. And somehow from the group of journalists that I represent, we are, believe me, quite a lot, but we do not belong to the corporate media in Latin America. We also want to express the solidarity with the Russian and with the people of Donbas, because what you people are doing in this military operation, it's something that you're doing not only for yourself, but for the whole world.